Welcome back to another episode of 8 to Go.
I'm Timothy Hammond alongside Jonathan Woodward, and we've got a great show lined up for you.
This week we took to the ISM Raceway, the newly reconfigured ISM Raceway, and I took a hot lap in the number 78. Welcome to the reconfigured ISM Raceway. I took the 78 out, trying to catch up to Kyle Busch in the 18. Trying to stay down low. You'll see a lot of guys go underneath that yellow line during the race. This is now the back straightaway. Used to be the front straightaway. Taking a peek under Kyle Busch, but stay back behind him here. Coming through turns 3 and 4 and across the new location of the start-finish line. Alright, so we went to Phoenix, which is now called the ISM Raceway. Newly reconfigured. They moved the start-finish line from what is now the backstretch over into turn 2, which is now the front stretch.
The front stretch,
or
right.
the dog leg, what they call it. It's really interesting the way that they
it kind of, to me, that turn reminds me a lot of the corner we get in Pocono, turn 3 and 4. Well,
the tunnel turn.
The tunnel turn, right? It's like it's not a turn, but it's there.
I mean, look, you'll see right behind us. Let's watch Joey Logano. This used to be turn 1. Now it's turn 3 and 4, and he's coming off of turn 4. The start-finish line's right here.
Right, and you'll see a lot. You see, there's like they can go anywhere they want down there. You see, they go below the yellow line and bring the car back up. They get a lot of momentum diving into that corner. And you try to beat that guy on the outside that has to let up because he's close to the wall, but you're on that inside. You're hauling into that turn 1 and 2 now.
Yeah. So in a way, I was thinking to myself, I wonder how different the racing is going to be.
Yeah.
I was shocked to see that there was a lot more exciting battles with this new configuration. I was like, well, it's not a lot has changed with the track. It's still at the same banking. But
a lot of different. Well, but it just that where they put the start-finish line changes a lot of things. It's almost like you look at Daytona and you look at Talladega. Talladega's start-finish line is just past the tri-oval.
Right.
So it's interesting how they've, NASCAR through the years they make some changes to the tracks, see how they go. We went to the Roval this year, and now we've done this at ISM. I'm very interested to see what we'll do next.
A very interesting weekend, very exciting racing, a lot of battles going on. Today, we saw who will advance into the Championship 4.
We did.
There were a lot of tire failures.
A lot of tire failures.
Yeah.
And at one point, stage 1, I thought that was the end of
Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick, there we go.
Kevin Harvick blew a tire as stage 1 came to a close. Chase Elliott took the checkered flag in stage 1. And then, Kevin Harvick had to battle back because he lost a lap because he had to pit when the pits were closed.
Yep.
So he lost a lap, had to battle back to get into that lucky dog position, and then luckily caught a caution.
Well, their car was very fast the whole race. So, being that early on in the race, I wouldn't have been not confused, but I would have been concerned either with that.
Yeah. So with that, we saw a couple other tire failures. Joey Logano, who already punched his ticket to Homestead, had a tire failure and ended up getting a lot of damage. Clint Boyer also. He had a pretty big tire failure as well. A bunch of Ford cars.
And what happened with, because I missed it, I'd stepped away, what happened with Stenhouse? It looked like a hard hit from the way his car was just
He blew a tire.
Okay,
he blew a tire and he hit the wall so hard he cut an oil line. Which just caused that big fire.
Wow.
Over there in turn 3.
We had the poll on our Facebook page this week. What were you more excited for, the elimination race or the configuration? And I voted for elimination race, but I was really excited for the configuration. Yeah, and this proved it. I mean, look at the good racing we got here with the 78 and the 41.
Yeah.
And there's Almirola right there. And let's talk about Almirola for a second. Man, he was so close to making that. There at the final restart, Almirola was up there. I think he started second, actually, on the final restart. And if Almirola would have won, that would have pushed Kevin Harvick out.
Yeah, I know that would have been so interesting. I was hearing a few things. Actually, it was funny because Brett Wright texted me and he was asking a certain situation. If Kyle Busch were to let Eric Almirola win the race, what? That would set up the 4 not being in the championship 4 at Homestead.
Kyle would rather race against the 10 than the 4, and I would do that any day. I mean, I would choose that any day.
It's like picking and choosing your battles.
Right. But here, you look at that, and now we refer it back to Richmond, where Clint Boyer manipulated some things to finish a race, and they ended up penalizing him really bad. So
NASCAR, it wouldn't have been popular with the fans. Wouldn't have been popular with NASCAR. NASCAR doesn't promote the sandbagging effect.
Right. Or kind of like manipulating the finish. I mean, they don't want any manipulation. Case in point, the point that they made with Kevin Harvick this week where they took the win away.
And so we'll jump ahead here. There is an incident between the 41 of Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin on one of the late restarts, which took out Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott was in the wrong place at the wrong time and got a bad end of that wreck right there.
That takes me out.
There he is.
But he's a young guy. There's next year. I believe that'll be his 3rd year in NASCAR.
Yeah.
So he's got plenty of time to win a championship.
He impressed me this year. The second half of the season, he just gets better and better as the races go on. He's just got so much more experience. I've got a lot of confidence he's going to be one to watch next year in 2019 with the new aero package.
Yeah. And he had a great car today. It was great in the long runs. Mm-hmm. It was coming back there fast. He got penalized for speeding up pit road.
I put him back in the field.
Which was the first mistake.
Mm-hmm. But he battled back. He got back up into the top 5.
He was up there. He was up there. I kept watching. All of a sudden he was 9 seconds back. Then he was like 6 seconds back into 9th place. And then there was the Kevin Harvick got into the back of a lapped car, and that brought him even closer.
Yeah.
But off of that restart is when he got caught up in that mess.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that ends his hopes of making it. Yeah. But we have our championship 4 now, and we'll mention that later on as we talk about the points. We're ready for Homestead.
We are ready for Homestead. So today, Kyle Busch won at the inaugural new configuration at ISM. And he's punched his ticket along with Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, I don't know why I said Kurt Busch, Martin Truex Jr., and Kevin Harvick. I keep wanting to call Kevin Harvick Kurt Busch, and I don't know why.
Well, same team, close enough. Kurt Busch just ended up missing out on the
barely
on the playoff.
He had a pretty strong car today too.
He did.
All of Stewart-Haas Racing since Talladega has just been pounding it out. Mm-hmm. They've just been getting it done. But it was a great race today overall.
Yep.
Welcome back. It's time for some more silly season information, pretty much. I mean, it's been interesting to see where people are going to go. This week we heard that Martin Truex for sure is going to Gibbs. Mm-hmm. And now that leaves Suarez as the odd man out, maybe.
Now, if that is the case, I'm thinking, and I think this has also to do with what Kurt Busch is going to do. I believe Kurt Busch is waiting until the end of the season to make up his mind if he wants to go back to Stewart-Haas Racing in the 41, or if he wants to explore another option.
I think his best option is the 41.
Yeah.
He's performed solidly with the team this year. They're a top tier team right now.
They are.
If you ask me, they're the number 1 team right now, besides Gibbs.
I'm kind of starting to think, because of what happened in today's race, he's not going to be in the running for a championship. He might be out. I'm thinking he might take the... Right now, the rumors have it that he's going to go to Ganassi to replace McMurray. Now, Ganassi recently spoke, and I saw on Twitter that Ganassi promised McMurray a Daytona 500 ride. I don't know what car number that'll be. It might just be a third car, because they have the 42 right now, but they might add like a third car in there. I'm not sure what number that'll be, but McMurray would run in the 500.
Okay.
Kurt Busch would take the one car. I could see that happening, see that working. Suarez, I can see him going to Stewart-Haas.
Yeah. And Stewart-Haas needs kind of a young guy.
Yeah.
You know, they've got Almirola, who I think is the youngest guy on the team right now. Because you got, I just learned today, Kevin Harvick is 42 years old.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that.
But like what you said, Truex is going to Gibbs. Will he be in the 19 or the 78? Will they take the 78 over from Furniture Row?
You know, that would be, honestly, that would be the best option.
Yeah.
Employee-wise,
right.
Because if you think about this, you don't have to hire new people. You've got everybody. You just kind of bring them over. You're already a satellite team. All you got to do is bring them to the shop.
And then, if you had other employees, because now the 95 is going to be a satellite team of Gibbs, so all of the remaining employees go to the 95.
I see.
I could see that working too.
When did the 95 decide that? Because 95 was a Hendrick satellite, wasn't it?
They announced Matt DiBenedetto was going to drive, and they're switching over to Toyota.
Okay.
TRD.
Wow.
So they will be a JGR satellite team.
Okay.
So that's official. And you know, speaking of TRD, and this is an Xfinity series, but kind of an interesting thing. Joe Gibbs Racing is going to take Jeffrey Earnhardt on to drive an Xfinity series. It's kind of it's a step down from the Cup to Xfinity, but think about it. It's gonna really give him a chance to showcase his talent.
And this is what I've always said about Jeffrey is he's got the Earnhardt name.
Yep.
But no one has given him a good ride.
Nope.
He's been driving for these teams that do a couple laps, pull over, and call it quits, you know?
Yeah.
And that sucks for you personally. If you're out there wanting to make a name for yourself and nobody's letting you, Joe Gibbs is going to let you do that.
And Joe Gibbs has a great organization in Xfinity. I mean, you look at Christopher Bell, he's probably going to end up winning the championship this year.
That was a great race, too, to watch. And the truck race. Ryan
Preece, he's getting promoted to the Cup Series already next year. So you got two guys right there. Christopher Bell, I expect him to be in the Cup Series, if not next year, the year after that.
I think next year they'll kind of tease him in.
Yeah. Anyway, that's really all we got for news and rumors. It's time for the championship picks and point standings update. Going into Homestead, we now have our championship 4. And you'll see Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., and Kevin Harvick will be battling it out for the Monster Energy Cup Series title.
I want to point out that before the show, John doesn't know this, but I changed in your phone. I took out the 9 and I put the 22 as my championship pick. See, look, Joey's right there. He's going to win it. He's going to win it all.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead with the picks.
Well, Tim has been eliminated.
I have been.
Well, we know the guys that are in. The guys that missed making it in were Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, Eric Almirola, and Brad Keselowski. Actually, Brad was already eliminated. Yeah, you know what? It's been a long day.
Clint Boyer.
Oh my gosh. What are they talking about here?
So during the race they showed the media day at ISM talking to all the championship contenders before the race.
Yeah, cut all this crap out.
Oh, I thought we were going with it.
We'll just move in. So championship picks: Tim had Harvick, Elliott, Blaney, and Truex. I had Keselowski, Elliott, Kyle Busch, and Truex. Tim, you have Harvick and Truex left in the fight, but you picked Chase Elliott to win, so
I'm automatically deducted 50 points.
Yes. I have Kyle Busch and Truex. I picked Kyle Busch to win the championship. He won the race today. He's going into Homestead.
It looks good for you.
Good.
Looks really good for you.
Looking good for driver 18. Who do you got winning the race at Homestead next week?
So Homestead, I didn't know if I wanted to go with the championship guy because I've been waiting for someone to ruin the championship guys winning these races.
Yep.
And I think it's going to happen at Homestead. And I'm going with Brad Keselowski.
Brad K.
Bad Brad.
Brad to win
at Homestead. Now, can I, since I lost Chase, can I
okay.
choose who's going to win the championship?
Who's going to win the championship?
Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick. Really? He's not going to have a spoiler problem this year.
No. What if he had a spoiler problem and he wins the championship?
I don't know.
I don't even want to think about that because that would be wild.
We had our live feed
Yes.
last week talking about the breaking news. I don't know.
That would be crazy.
You never know. Like,
you really don't.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I don't know. We'll see.
Because you got to push that. They're going to push that envelope to win that championship.
Yeah.
So who do you have winning Homestead?
Homestead. I got 42. Larson.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
Larson.
Okay.
Larson's going to end the season with a win.
Yeah, speaking of Larson, he's right there.
Yeah,
we didn't set up any of this. It's just happening.
He did good today.
He did great. He was there at the end, and he was near the top 5.
Yeah, he showed a lot of speed today. I expect the same at Homestead, which is interesting. We both picked non-playoff guys to win the race next week. Championship, still going with Kyle. Kyle Busch is going to win the championship.
I cannot dog that pick because Kyle's going into Homestead with the most momentum, and I mean this will be championship number 2.
Yeah,
it'll be okay. Listen, I didn't thought about this. It'll be Logano's first if he wins, and it'll be either Kyle's, Truex's, or Harvick's second championship.
Right. Well, the Candyman's going to deliver next week. And we're going to be there.
The Candyman can. We are going to be there.
We're going to be there.
So excited.
All right.
We want to thank you all for everything on social media. We've been active on Instagram, and it's been great. We've actually had a couple of drivers follow us on Instagram. I had to, go in, dig, make sure they're real. But the 2013 IndyCar Series Rookie of the Year has been liking all of our stuff on Instagram. That's great,
Yeah, we love having interactions with people. We thank everyone for checking out our live feed the other night. We went over 300 views on that, which is great.
And we actually, when we ended it, I think we ended it 223 people that had watched it while we were live. And then we got to the 300 afterwards. People were watching it after it posted. But go ahead and like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you have not yet. Get notifications whenever we post new stuff, because Homestead's race is going to look so good, and it's just going to be amazing.
We're going to be at the Homestead Miami Speedway this time next week, bringing you live feeds, fan interactions, you name it. We got a couple things coming out.
We do.
We won't unveil everything.
We can't tell everything yet, but you'll be watching, and you're going to see it first.
We'll see you next week from Miami.
See you guys.